What a wild ride.
Pues vamos a jugar.
Well, that's a very blunt.
El anterior primer ministro Jacob Hamilton Mann convocó la declaración de un escándalo sexual porque se pedía su dimisión. A ver de qué trata. O sea, simplemente es eso. Estás frente a un tablero, ya elecciones. Estás frente a un tablero y tú eliges más o menos arreglando las cosas.
Hi David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. Alright mate, Dave here. Listen, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so you're gonna have to run the news tonight. Now don't worry, it's not hard and I'm gonna stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm gonna give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the four small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again. You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk. You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any three and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again.
Take on 4 old ladies from East Derbyshire. That's followed at 8 p.m. by award-winning documentary series The Shape of
Right, won't be long now till the signal starts coming through from the station. Stay on your toes. All the bigwigs are in tonight because of the election, so we better not make any mistakes.
At 9 p.m, sit back and relax with multiple award-winning movie The Freedom.
When you get the signal, select screen 1 with the vision mixer and we're ready to go.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know seafood makes me kind of pasties.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist. Going in 5, 4.
But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson. For the
Good
next
evening.
Night News.
I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay, we're all good. Next is going to be to throw to the news titles on screen 2. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleys wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Bunderclatch about it. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic...
Right, button 2 in 3, 2, 1, now. Lovely, mate. Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes.
A ver, te da su gracia, ¿no?
Here it comes. Switch to screen 1. Now, lovely, mate.
But first, the votes are in and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide...
We usually get a bit of interference at this time of night, so keep your eye on the machine at the bottom right. All you have to do is keep the green wave in the white bit. You can move it up and down using the scroll wheel.
But critics have accused him of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vague. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly. However, former Home Secretary...
Great, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now, the clock is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
To hear the co-leaders acceptance.
And 3, 2, 1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody.
Jeremy, I need you to fill after the ads.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
Oh,
Thought I'd ask him about the election.
personally, I wouldn't try to confuse you with any big words.
That's the same policy we use with you.
I thought that was our little secret.
He doesn't remember anything I tell him.
I'm deeply uncomfortable with your burgeoning friendship. Yeah.
Vaya.
Wicked. We made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long. 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead,
From
mate.
the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first
Get
off,
ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to
go
the
to
shop
Blunderclatch
film
on screen 3 when she says his name.
by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear, I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
Latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The Medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter, the rat, that's Peter Jensen, the director.
Give us a look at Megan's
He's
reaction.
a wonderful chap. He really
Lovely. Now back to Thunder
worked
Twat.
with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but
Been on that shot a bit long.
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
it's so sweet of you to mention it. But I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
That is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire. The little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh,
Te marcan
well.
las opciones. Puedes pasar a
Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed, historic is the word. Well, difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the
From
break.
The Medicated, which opens next week.
Right,
around
they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lodz Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff.
Oh, looks like Blunderclatch is losing it in the studio, but we ain't got time for that now because there's more interference coming in, and this time it's a bit trickier. When you need to adjust the height or the width of the wave, hold down middle mouse and move the mouse around.
It's not your fault.
You think I don't know that?
No one's mustn't.
Oh. Se empezó a ver de esa como porquería día 1, bloque 2.
Hi, I'm world-class sporting legend Johnny Hamsleys. I'm not fat, but you are. Don't worry, ladies. Now you can have me, Johnny Hamsleys, right there in your lounge.
Johnny.
Match time. Happy time.
Wicked, we made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multi-cam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1, try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2, don't stay on the same shot for too long, 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3, don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead,
From
mate.
the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody.
With Johnny Hamsleys.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later, we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first
Get
off,
ready to go to Megan on
reporter
screen
Megan
4.
Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today,
Sí,
I'm
como,
a guest who
tienes que
starred
estar
in
pendiente de
everything
todo
from
aquí en
Shakespeare
general.
Right,
to
go
the
to
shop
Blunderclatch on
films
screen 3 when she says his name.
by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear. I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
The latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The Medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the Rat, that's Peter Jensen, the director.
Give us a look at Megan's reaction.
He's a wonderful
Lovely.
chap.
Now back to Thunder Twat.
I worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild
Podrían
ride
ser
this has been.
más incómodos los
But you know
controles
what?
Ah.
para cambiar aquí de escena.
I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but obviously, who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 best
Get back to
actors,
who's talking.
if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet of you to mention it, but I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
That is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire. The little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Medicated, which opens next week.
Right, they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lodz Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff.
Vale.
Oh, looks like Blunderclatch is losing it in the studio, but we ain't got time for that now because there's more interference coming in, and this time it's a bit trickier. When you need to adjust the height
Hay que estar
or
pendiente
the
aquí,
width
porque
of
sí
the
se...
wave, hold down middle mouse and move the mouse around.
It's not your fault.
You think I don't know that?
No, Lance, we mustn't.
Dr. Lance to you, Miss Flanagan. Good for you, baby.
Dr. Hemlock. Doctor,
I'm drowning, Lance, you said.
you need to see this.
No, it's all too late.
Qué difícil, pero qué difícil es mantener esa porquería. Pero qué difícil. Y esto es el tutorial, ¿eh? Pero en serio, ¿qué pasa? Y ahora tengo que repetir esto. Jo. Qué difícil es mantener esa porquería ahí. Y es que me vas a repetir dónde está el anuncio. Ay, ¿por qué? Y es que es un asco tener que escuchar todo eso ahí. No puedo poner nada. ¿Puedes censurar? No pasa nada.
Wicked, we've made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate, but this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multi-cam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb.
Lo voy a intentar una vez más, y no, pues ya está, que es complicado.
2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long. 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot. Pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody.
With Johnny Hamsley.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Welcome back to Later we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first
Get
off,
ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan will...
Get on screen 4.
And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to
go
the
to Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his name.
by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. By none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch.
Oh, my dear. I do hope you believe me when I tell you. I do hope that
Empezamos bien, que estoy viendo.
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours. May I say,
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
so you just finished The Medicated.
The Medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Yes. Well,
Wow,
as
what was
I
that
said
like?
to Peter, as I said to Peter Jensen, the director.
Give us a look at Megan's reaction.
He's a wonderful
Lovely. Now back to Thunder Twat.
Worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. What a wild ride this has been. I really meant that. Megan?
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist. Absolutely
Was that
right.
a challenge
A
at all?
scientist.
Was
What
that a
exactly are you
challenge at
implying?
all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was a true story. You'll remember that one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. A love, of course. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but obviously who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
It's so sweet
If
of
I
you to
remember
mention it.
correctly.
But I really am not in it for the awards. Those 3 little statues do take quite a place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you? What is it then that drives you?
That is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And I will bleed. That's how it feels. Often, doesn't it? That's how it feels. Doesn't it? Bleeding, doesn't it? Giving. Bleeding. Suffering. Giving. For one's audience. Suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end I do it for the difference. I do it for the people that I inspire. I do it for the people that I inspire. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed. Historic is the word. Indeed. Historic. Difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. Difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive, not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Medicated, which opens next week.
Right, they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look. Exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
Este maneja la onda, la altura,
We ain't got time for that now because there's more interference coming in, and this time it's a bit trickier. When you need to adjust the height or the width of the wave, hold
fault.
You think I don't know that? You think I don't know that?
Nolans mustn't. Nolans mustn't.
Dr. Lansky, you Miss Flanagan. Flanagan.
Did it for you, baby. All for you.
Dr. Hemlock.
We're gonna change the world.
Dr. Hemlock.
We're gonna change the world. You won't listen to me.
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me,
Dr. Hemlock.
but I didn't listen. Told me.
Doctor.
I'm drowning, Lance, she said.
Need to see
Drowning,
this.
Lance. No, it's all too late.
Need to see this.
No, it's all too
Look
late.
at this. Look at this.
The sterility. The sterility. This phone. This is the key.
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
We have to ask ourselves if
We should.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button or the spacebar on your keyboard for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you've got to do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now. As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder. Good. You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember, button lights up, count 1, 2, and hold it down.
Deal and a deal. We got those chairs. You want crazy? We got crazy. Crazy Neil's got crazy deals.
Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your keyboard, 1 to 4.
We got it. You want it. You
Seriously,
pay it. You
Douglas.
want it.
5,
You want it. You
4,
want it. We got it.
3.
You pay it.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance Headquarters, where the two leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Oh shit, he's pissed.
Shall I
Get ready
start?
to bleep.
Go for it, Pat.
Shall I start?
Okay. Go for it,
Well,
Pat.
thank you all for coming, and thank you all.
Where
for
do
coming,
I start?
and, what a day!
They said we
What
couldn't
a
do
day.
it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty, low-down, lying, southern bastard trick they had against us. But you, the people, you saw right through their shit.
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a
language.
couple of celebrations. Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebrations. Coarser than the granny's fanny.
But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, you've heard us say that Advance are not a political party. A party is what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future. So perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbook.
Again, colourfully put, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know the sort of, probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide. I've got nowhere to hide. We revoked your passports. We revoked your passports. You want to leave like you threatened before the election. That's fine. But first, you're going to pay first. You're going to pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into a team. To properly fund health and education. To raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions. But you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats.
The people who pay your pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs. The people whose children you raise.
So they've got time to get even.
Advance have this to say to you. Advance have this to say to you. We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
It ends today.
We will put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been. In the hands of the people who created it. In the hands of the people who created it.
Today.
Yes. It ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time.
Well, then, interesting acceptance speech there from and our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under advance. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful...
Right, looks like you've got it now. Thanks for all out, mate.
Good
I've
job,
got to go.
everybody.
Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate. Good luck.
With this exquisite limited edition
boring politics then.
This is some weird fever dream. Am I dying now?
And every week we'll
Isn't
send
he
you
so lucky?
ethically
I'll
sourced
see you tomorrow night.
I'm not going for a drink.
No, got a date.
Build your collection
Try not
week
to
by
get
week,
murdered.
and very soon you'll have a salad that really gets the lunchroom talking. From tomatoes and oils to leafy greens and lovely grains, this really is the...
Aquí tuve problemas en la secuencia 3. Aquí pues apenas estaba empezando. Aquí pues mucho tema de... Has logrado censurar todas las palabras ofensivas, programas y interferencias de edición adecuada. Has recibido tu salario completo, dinero actual, pobre como una rata. Audiencia. Vale, eso es literalmente un pay per split, pero más original. No sé esto qué significa, sinceramente, pero bueno.
Alright, mate. Welcome to the archive. This is where you can have a quick look back at what you've done and how it looked to the public. There's 3 sections: broadcast, rushes and adverts. Let's start with broadcast. Click on it now. Over on the left, that's all the broadcasts that you've done. Click on any one of them and hit load tape. Once it's finished loading, you can use the rewind and the fast forward at the bottom there to help you get to the bit you want to see.
In a few moments, we'll be going live to tonight's National Nightly News. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later on tonight on Channel 1. At 7 o'clock, it's the semi-final of the quotation game, and it's a nail-biting quiz tonight as a team of nuclear physicists take on 4 old ladies from East Grinching. That's followed at 8 p.m. by award-winning documentary series The Shape of Now, which tonight looks at the history of the New York stock and its importance during...
Moving on up, the election win that experts said just couldn't happen.
Vamos a ver cómo
Hopeful
lo
or
dice,
hostile.
vamos a ver.
Controversy as global mega corporation Remington Swist buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his dedicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic victory. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
Joder, ¿no? No seré yo el mejor productor, ¿no? Aquí de esta gente. Ahí hubo un poco de eso, pero bueno. No, lo estoy echando para atrás. Vale, se reinicia. En la pausa. Esto es lo del tonto este que se puso muy agresivo. Y su comercial, o no sé lo que haya sido, un avance, un trailer de su siguiente anuncio.
Right, click on rushes and let's have a look at those. Right, this is the rushes room. It's pretty simple. The 4 screens you can see, they're going to show you the 4 signals you got from the studio during the actual broadcast. Difference is you can mute any combination of them so you can have a listen to the stuff you weren't allowed to show. Select the broadcast and give it a go, and when you're done listening to the backstage secrets, hit back.
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You know seafood makes me come out in pustules.
Yeah, I thought it might increase our viewing figures.
Every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill me.
And yet you persist. Going in 5, 4.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson.
Aquí podemos ver todo lo que pasó, porque nosotros no escuchamos toda la tontería que hizo o que dijo el tonto este cuando se terminó la primera transmisión.
These aren't my cards. Please tell me these aren't my cards.
No, they're the right ones, apparently.
Oh, but this gives me nothing, Jenny. They must see that.
Oh, no. I think they think he won't have anything to say.
Oh, for God's sake, come on. It's a huge day. He's not an...
Absolute bonehead. I don't care, Rob. I'm not doing it. I agreed to do one beastly interview a day. I made that completely clear when we started. Check my contract.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Oh, piss off. You're on thin bloody ice, Rob. Whole wheat, man. Whole wheat.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
No sé si habrán contratado a actores de verdad o qué pase, pero están bien hechas las cosas malas, las acciones que tienen.
Oh.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
And we're out.
Rob, get the car. We're out of here.
Mr. Blunderclatch.
No! I'm shutting this down. What kind of operation are you people running?
Mr. Blunderclatch, I understand you're upset, but we can...
You don't know the half of it.
Rob! I'll be at the Dorset. Send up a bottle of scotch and a whole ham. It's in my contract.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to. I had to. Oh, go on then. Say it.
What?
I told you so.
Your hair looked nice.
See, this is why you're single.
Vaya. Vale. Vale.
Good evening. I'm Megan Wolf.
And I'm Jeremy
Eso ha sido el juego. ¿Qué tengo que pensar al respecto de? Bastante bueno, la verdad. Hay muchas cosas que tienes. A ver, voy a hacer una cosa antes de continuar porque la verdad esto me estoy volviendo loco. What a wild ride. Ay, porque me estoy volviendo loco. Esto es un lío. Hay mucho. Pasa la interferencia y todo, me vuelve loco. Muy buen juego, la verdad. Sinceramente, bastante bien. ¿Qué opina al respecto? Bueno, ya lo dije, bastante bueno, pero ¿cómo decirlo? El tutorial es muy lioso. Te explican todo, te lo explican así, te lo dan así como que muy poco a poco, pero te explican muchas cosas de golpe, que si esto, que si lo otro, que si tienes que cambiar de pantalla antes, que si esto, y después la gente se enoja porque esto y porque lo otro, pero primero tienes que tener en cuenta que esto y que bueno, bastante lioso, no les voy a mentir. También hay mucha información. Me imagino que lo que hicimos al inicio, de cargar las cintas, de cargar los anuncios, de prender el stream cuando ya esté todo listo, que es en la parte izquierda, que si en la parte superior está lo de la audiencia. A ver, es importante lo de la audiencia, no les voy a mentir que no, o sea, es muy importante. Pero, por ejemplo, no es algo de lo que tenemos que estar muy al pendiente. Es lo más importante en todo, porque es lo que va a indicar si ganas o pierdes lo que es la partida. Pero realmente no tienes que estar al pendiente. Eso va a estar subiendo y va a estar bajando a su ritmo. Ni siquiera tienes que estar viéndolo. Tienes que estar más al pendiente tú, pues, del tablero, ¿no? Creo que es bastante bueno en general. Al mismo tiempo, salió el segundo episodio, o sea, esto va por episodios, parece, porque de hecho me llegó el anuncio, me llegó un correo directamente de la gente esta que hizo el juego, diciéndome que había salido ya el segundo episodio, que había que probarlo. Tenía este juego pendiente de hacerle hace mucho, pero empecé a trabajar y no me dio mucho tiempo, entonces pues eso es lo que opino. Es bastante bueno. Es un Paper Please, pero mucho más complicado en temas de lo que hay en pantalla. En Paper Please, pues bueno, tienes que estar al pendiente también de muchas cosas. Pero hay mucha información en pantalla. Es dinámico, no les voy a mentir. Es bastante dinámico. Lo del pitido, bueno, es raro, porque tienes que escuchar a que se escuche el sonido, pero después contar 1 o 2, porque la transmisión va con delay, porque se ve en la segunda parte, va con un poco de delay, entonces pues tienes que contar hasta 2 para poder hacer el cambio, pero, ¿sabes? Entonces es raro, y si no, y por ejemplo, si estás al pendiente porque al inicio te guías conforme la tabla, ¿no? O sea, te muestra una parte roja y te guías al respecto de, pero si estás al mismo tiempo, después de eso, al pendiente de un costado que no haya interferencia, pues imagino que será más complicado hacer la censura, porque a lo mejor va a estar diciendo tontería y media en la esta y va a haber que censurarlo, pero al mismo tiempo hay interferencia. Entonces tienes que estar al pendiente de varias cosas. Por eso te explica lo de estar al pendiente del sonido. Muy buen juego, muy buen juego. En la página de Steam. Está en. Es que no me sale el precio. Ah, sí, está en 140 o 185. Ahora mismo está en oferta hasta el 4 de febrero. 185, la verdad es que bastante bien. Bastante bien. Lo recomiendo bastante. Me ha sorprendido más de lo que esperaba. No esperaba un simulador de manejar la televisión, pero no a tal nivel y que hubiese como que algo tontería y media ahí por el medio entre los personajes que te presentan, que si tienen problemas, que si se quejan, que seguramente podrás hacer quedar mal a alguien, en lugar de cambiar, que si está peleando, en lugar de cambiarlo, poner que se muestre lo que está diciendo, lo que está haciendo. Entonces seguramente también se puede hacer algo parecido si te vas revelando, ¿sabes? Como que te vas revelando ahí de toda esta gente, porque te están obligando a hacer algo muy específico. No sé, no tengo idea, pero bueno, bastante bien, bastante recomendado. Voy a finalizar la grabación